Today we're talking about something and working with something called value. Value is really important to artists. For this project today, you are going to need your piece of paper, tempera paint that's in the ice cube trays, a mixing paper because we're going to be mixing our values, a paintbrush, and I would use the Mama Bear or the Papa Bear, whatever works best for you, and a cup of water and a paper towel to dry it off. When working with values, values are the lightness and darkness of a color. To make a color lighter, you're going to add white. To make a color darker, you're going to add black. So I want to show you, first thing you've got to think about is what color you want the sky to be. So my sky, I decided I'm going to work with blue. So what I'm going to do is I am going to start with my blue, and I'm going to put just a wave of this blue here in the middle of my paper. And I'm creating a landscape. Now remember, a landscape is anytime we draw land, and we're creating a landscape for our winter animals. So I'm going to do a polar bear. So I'm creating a landscape for my polar bear. So I'm going to start with blue here in the middle. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some blue here on my mixing paper, and I'm scooping out about 3 scoops of blue, and then I'm going to kind of use the rest up on my paper, and then I'm going to wash my paintbrush off because I know that my paintbrush needs to be clean and dry before I dip into any other colors. So I'm going to clean that paintbrush off. Make sure it's clean and dry. And I'm going to dip into some white. And I'm going to get about 3 scoops of white. I'm going to put this white over here. And so I'm going to be using the white and the blue to create my tint. Now a tint is when you mix white with a color. I'm going to get a little bit of blue here and mix it into the white. Now, do you see how when you mix the white and the blue together, I love mixing colors together, you're going to notice it's making a light blue. So this is my lightest blue. So I'm going to come down here at the bottom, and I am actually going to put this as one of my first colors down here at the bottom. Remember, you're going to put the color of your sky right in the middle, and then I'm going to come down here at the bottom. I'm going to make it a little bit of a hill, just like that. Then I am going to want to make my light blue a little bit darker. So I'm going to add in a little bit more blue. So let me do that. So you can see this is getting a little bit darker. Oh yeah. Do you notice the difference between this blue and this blue? I'm getting a little bit darker. This one, I'm going up on this side just a little bit like it's a hill. Make sure that when you're painting, you're doing really nice brush strokes and you're getting all the way over to the edge of your paper. I'm going to make one more value of blue, and I want this one to be even darker. So I'm going to add some more blue into my white, just like this. And you're going to notice, oh yeah, that's very nice. This one's even a little bit darker. So I want it to be like steps. So I have got my blue, I go a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter, and a little bit lighter. And the way to get lighter is by adding white. That's called a tint. I'm going to wash my brush off, and now we're going to start to make the shades. Shade is when you add black to a color. So I'm going to scoop out some more blue onto my mixing paper. I'm going to clean off my brush, and I'm going to get some black. I'm going to scoop out black. Now, let me tell you, this black is powerful. So you don't need a whole lot of black to mix with the blue to make it darker. So you can see now my blue is getting darker. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to make kind of a mountain here on my paper. You can see this is darker than my original blue. Then I'm going to add a little bit more black. And I'll probably use this to go out the entire way at the top. Now, once you have filled in your entire page with your landscape, I'm calling this a value landscape because we're using different values of a color. Remember, you're just picking one color. Whatever color you want your sky, that's what you're going with. You're going to mix that color with black and white. At this point, I have completely covered my paper with the different values. And at this point, what you can do is some details. I can add some snow. If I remember the end of the pencil, if I dip that in, I can dot that and add snow. Notice my paper's curling up just a little bit. That happens, that's okay. Just kind of hold it down. I can add snow because my animal's gonna be in the snow. Remember, I'm doing a polar bear. You can also go over and get a baby bear paintbrush to do more details. But I'm going to go ahead and use the paintbrush that I have right here. And I'm going to maybe do a few trees. Now, to do the trees, I can use any of these tints and shades that I have. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of a shade of blue for the front here. And I'm going to go ahead and put a tree in. Just like this. Now remember, this is the winter, so my tree does not have any leaves on it. Or I could do a pine tree. Those are neat in the winter. And if you need to mix up some more, you can. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. Might put a couple more trees right over here. Now remember, with a landscape, anything that's close to us is bigger, and anything that's far away from us is smaller. So if I do a tree back here, it's going to be much smaller than the tree that I do in the front. And the reason is because it's further away. I might add one more tree in here. I know you're going to have a great time creating your value landscapes. Remember, I want to see different values of that color in the sky to create your landscape. Have a great time.